care of it.
I see it.
Oh my god, Buck, shoot. What are you doing? You gotta be Hey everyone, I'm and today we're talking Halo 3 ODST. ODST is a fantastic game. Famously, it's the Halo game that lets you roleplay as a 1940s detective as you sweep the rainy nighttime streets looking for clues as to what happened to your squad. There's been a lot said about that side of ODST, and rightfully so because it's great, but I think this often overshadows the other side of the game, the actual levels. ODST is often looked at as its own separate thing from the other Halo games, and it has a different vibe for sure during the Mombasa street sections, but this game executes the more traditional Halo formula masterfully during its 8 main levels. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Halo 3 ODST is maybe my favorite set of levels in the whole series. My main issue with it is just that it's not long enough. So in this video, we'll be ranking these levels from worst to best. As you may have gathered, I'm not counting Mombasa Streets as a level for this video because it's not a level in the traditional sense, it's a hub world that takes you from mission to mission. If you haven't played ODST, there will be spoilers. And as always, these rankings are just my opinions, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Without further ado, let's start with my least favorite ODST level. Number 8, Coastal Highway. Coastal Highway is the final mission of ODST where you, as the rookie, escort Virgil alongside Buck and Dare. It starts in the now daytime Mombasa streets before going into a vehicle section on the highway involving a Warthog, Goshawk, and tank, and ends with a climactic holdout section. So this is probably a necessary caveat, but I play this game on Legendary, which certainly impacts my opinion of this level. Oh my god, Buck, shoot! I love it in concept, I would probably be fine with it on lower difficulties, but my goodness, is the Warthog section frustrating on Legendary. The rest of Coastal Highway I like great. Walking around the Mombasa streets no longer alone and with the sun out to start is great. And the holdout section at the very end, very fun stuff. But the Warthog section, which, like I said, great in concept, but the problem is, Buck sucks. There's a part with drones where I had to get out and help him shoot, and the section with Banshees I keep showing, eventually I just decided to do all the driving and shooting myself. If you haven't played this game, you may wonder why I keep pushing up instead of just hanging back. It's because this is an escort mission. You're escorting this vehicle, and if you don't keep the heat off of them, it doesn't take the Covenant too long to blow them up. Just to make sure this wasn't simply a skill issue, I looked up what speedrunners do in Legendary runs of this game. There's an out-of-bounds trick now, but before that, yeah, they would carry a rocket launcher and fuel rod gun so they could take stuff out themselves. Once you get the tank, the level becomes fun again. It reminds me of crossing the bridge in Metropolis in Halo 2, and the Halo 3 tank is goated, but my goodness, the highway before this, not good. This was the only level upon replaying this game for footage and to submit my rankings that I did not enjoy. Let's move on. Number 7, Uplift Reserve. Uplift Reserve is the second flashback level, and like Coastal Highway, another Warthog level. But whereas Coastal Highway is frustrating with no escort element, Uplift Reserve is just eh. This level is your real introduction to Dutch, who you play as, and your objective is to just drive around the wildlife reserve and clear out Covenant and help your fellow Marines. At this point in the game, the ODST squad is still scattered, and Dutch doesn't know where anyone else is. I think I'm just not a big fan of Warthog levels generally. I think it's another thing where if I played co-op and had a friend as a gunner, it would be more fun, but just driving around and waiting for your Marine to shoot everything isn't my favorite thing in Halo. I don't dislike it, I just prefer the gunplay in other vehicle levels to Warthog levels like Uplift Reserve. This level is also really easy to just drive straight through without stopping, even on Legendary. That's how I usually beat it. So when I was getting footage this time, I didn't do that to see what I thought about the level when actually killing everything, and yeah, it didn't really change my mind at all. It reminds me of Savo Highway from Halo 3, just another Warthog level that I don't dislike, but I'm never excited to play. But like I said, this is another one where the way I play definitely affects my opinion. If you had a buddy that you could go around these sections and take out enemies with, I can see how this would be a lot of fun. But oh well, on to the next one. Number 6, Tayari Plaza. Tayari Plaza is the first flashback level of the game where you play as Sergeant Buck trying to get to Dare before the Covenant do, and after the Mombasa street section to start the game, this is the first part of the game that really feels like old school Halo. This is a good level. This is where the list starts to get tricky for me because I knew my bottom 2, but the next 6 I all really like, starting with this one. The fighting in this level is a lot of fun. It starts you off with an assault rifle, so it's immediately different than the Mombasa street section, which to this point in the game is all you've played. I get rid of the assault rifle almost immediately, but still. Running through the streets, taking on loads of enemies while rushing to save Nathan Fillion's ex-girlfriend, great stuff. There is an open section that has a bunch of sniper jackals, but thankfully in this game Bungie decided to chill out a bit and make them not insta-kill you with full health. In the rookie sections, the city is quiet and mostly empty, but this level shows the city also works well as an environment in a classic-style Halo level. What made me rank Tayari Plaza at number 6 and behind the rest is just because of how short it is. There's really not much here at all. The part time in the Master Chief Collection is only 3 minutes. For me, as someone who doesn't speedrun ODST, it took me about 11 minutes on Legendary, so still pretty quick. In a way, it's kind of a microcosm of ODST as a whole. What is in ODST is really good, it's just short. What's in Tayari Plaza is really good, it's just short. Let's move on. Number 5, Oni Alpha Site. In Alpha Site, your back is Dutch after linking up with Mickey, and you're defending an Oni building from the Covenant while it's being evacuated and rigged to blow. Oni in the Halo universe is the Office of Naval Intelligence, so it's important to keep the Covenant from taking the building. This level to me is similar with Tyari Plaza in that I really like it, and it is longer than Tyari Plaza, but there's not really anything stand out for me. It's just solid all the way around. My favorite sequence in the level is definitely defending the top of the hill on the outside of the building. Getting to snipe, laser, or pistol headshot enemies as they come up the hill is a lot of fun, and it translates into a really good firefight map. The inside section also is a great firefight map. I did a whole video seeing how long I could survive on it on Legendary, but in the context of the mission, it's alright. The turret stand on Legendary is pretty useless after brutes start coming in, but I imagine it's a lot of fun on lower difficulties. Oni Alpha Site also has your first drone fight of the game, however drones are awful and I hate them. But yeah, Oni Alpha Site, good level. I just like the next 4 better. Starting with number 4, Kikowani Station. In Kikowani Station, your back is Buck, now linked up with the rest of the squad outside of the Rookie and Dare, and you're trying to steal a Phantom and escape the city. So while Mickey, Dutch, and Romeo are in the Phantom, you, as Buck, are escorting them in a Banshee. Kikowani Station is a Banshee level, and it's great. This also means ODST has more Banshee levels, 1, than Halo 3. You also fight a Scarab in this level, so it has not 1 but 2 elements, the Banshee and the Scarab, that I would not have expected from a smaller scale ODST game. Not that I'm complaining. Like I said, Kikowani Station is great. I love flying around in the Banshee, taking out enemies and getting into dogfights with other Banshees. It's a great change of pace from the rest of the game to this point, both in terms of the gameplay and having the whole squad mostly together and bantering rather than either being alone or with one other ODST. I'm gonna keep repeating this, but really the only downside of this level is just that it's not that long. It's a vehicle level, which usually lends itself to a longer length, but I beat it for this video in about 15 minutes. Regardless, it's number 4 on my list. Great level. Let's move on. Number 3, Kazingo Boulevard. Kazingo Boulevard is your only mission playing as Mickey, where you get to drive around in a tank before meeting up with Dutch and having a final holdout section. I'm gonna say something probably controversial. I've teetered on this in the past and I've suggested maybe, but I've never committed. So now I'll just say it. Kazingo Boulevard has my favorite tank section in all of Halo. The Halo 3 tank is my favorite, and I like the city environment for this. Rolling through Mombasa, blowing up infantry, ghosts, and wraiths in the H3 tank is a lot of fun. And with the city environment, you have to worry about turrets, snipers, fuel rod grunts, etc. hiding in buildings or on roofs or in alleyways. I think it works better than some of the other environments and past levels like Quarantine Zone or the Ark. And don't get me wrong, the Ark in its entirety I prefer over Kazingo Boulevard, but just in terms of the tank section, this is my favorite. The ending holdout section is good, although I find it strange that you as an ODST can hijack a wraith, but whatever. You get a sniper, and I love the Halo 3 sniper, and taking out enemies as they come up the hill is great. It's still too short, whatever. I think it's a great mission. Some would even say a banger, and it's 3rd on my list. Anyway, speaking of the sniper, number 2, NMPD HQ. NMPD HQ takes place at, well, the New Mombasa Police Headquarters. You play as Romeo, the sniper of the squad, alongside Sergeant Buck as you fight your way through the headquarters to get to Mickey and Dutch's Crash Pelican. I love the sniper in every Halo game. Truth and Reconciliation is my favorite CE level mainly because of the sniper. I especially love the Halo 3 sniper, and moving through the different outdoor areas and the police station sniping Covenant is great. Nothing in Halo is more satisfying than getting a sniper headshot. And in complete contrast to the ammo problems I've talked about in Halo 4, this level loads you up on sniper ammo. There are sniper rifles all over the place, so you are free to just unload on the Covenant and not worry about conserving ammo. The level ends with the best holdout section in the game, where you use missile launchers, Spartan lasers, and rockets to defend the Crash Pelican from Banshee and Phantom waves. For the first time in the game, you have 4 members of the ODST squad fighting together, and it's a really great moment both in the gameplay and story-wise. I don't have any complaints with this level. It could still be longer, but from start to finish it's great, and picking between this and the next one was very tough. However, to end the list, we have number 1, Data Hive. So you've been playing as a rookie, going around trying to find your squad, and this is the part of the game where everything starts to come together. You hear Dare on the radio and travel to go find her in the underground Superintendent Data Center. The level is called Data Hive because there's also a drone hive, and you fight a ton of drones in this level. But as much as I hate drones, fighting them here is a lot of fun, and the section where you actually go through the drone hive with Dare is like a bug shooting gallery where you get to just mow them down. For most of the level, you're going through hallways that look like this, trying to semi-stealthily take out Covenant. It's a really good environment visually. It looks gorgeous, but still fits the noir aesthetic of the rookie sections while also feeling creepy between the low lighting and the drone swarms. It's a really good environment gameplay-wise. It's open, but you still have a lot of cover and room for tactical maneuvering. And as you delve deeper and deeper on your way to Dare, it gets more tense as you don't know what to expect. I haven't mentioned yet, but ODST also has audio logs that tell a side story, and everything with that and the Superintendent all comes to a head here, and the level actually plays out slightly differently depending on if you've gotten the audio logs or not. So it's really cool how the game actually pays off going for the collectibles. After you've met up with Dare and gotten through the drone hive and and have gotten to Virgil, the next fight to get to Buck is intense because there's a lot of enemies and you now have to protect a floating squid. One thing I'm not going to complain about with Data Hive is length. This is my favorite level of the game, and I'm glad that it's also the second longest behind only Coastal Highway. It still only took me 28 minutes, so it's not quite half an hour, but it doesn't need to be an hour-long epic. It just shouldn't be one you can blow through in 15 minutes. So it's a great level that I think is pretty perfect in terms of length, that has a lot of impact story-wise. It's my favorite level in ODST, and I think it's one of the best Halo levels, period. And that's my list of ODST levels from worst to best. Be sure to give me your rankings in the comments, and if you like ODST, then click the video on screen to see one of my earliest videos where I talk about the game as a whole. I'll catch you next time.